What you doing? I'm your otaku tainer, the AC Stories with this alcoholandanime. Okay, so I got. I was gonna say something special. It's nothing special. I just kind of random, just trying to find something to watch, and that something happened to be My Hero Academia 2 Heroes. Uh, because mainly because the new movie, the fourth movie, is coming out next month in October. But that's talking about the movie. That's not what I do here. Of course, that's the movie. You may already watch the movie, but what you haven't done is drink what I drank. And so I'm going to start with the alcohol. And if you have drink what I drink, wow, well, weird coincidence. You may have. It's not. It's not like it's impossible. It's nothing special either. It's simple. When thinking about what do I drink for this, because I knew of the movie. I didn't really know anything about the movie. So I was like, okay, well, two heroes. Obviously, I'm drinking either two drinks, or I'm drinking a drink with two ingredients, or I'm drinking two ingredients separately at the same time. It's going to be two of something. Also, the fact that this is the first movie and it's two, they should have made this the second movie. I don't know, they should. We'll get into that. So the drink is, I'll just say what it is. It's just a mix of two different alcohols, both being Japanese in origin or actual Japanese alcohols. Pretty sure they're all actually Japanese made, Japan made, but what it is a Japanese vodka, Tenjaku. I got it because and you can see pictures of what I'm about to describe to you, either on my Ko-fi or probably Instagram too. I'll post it there. Because the drink itself doesn't look like anything special. It's literally just two things. So it's not as colorful as some of the other stuff I made. But the Tenjaku vodka I got, and the whole reason I got it, one being I haven't had Japanese vodka before. I've had whiskey, plenty of whiskey, which I almost used for this, but I've been using that whiskey a lot. Getting a lot of mileage out of it, but I thought I needed to mix it up a bit. But it came in a box, a very colorful comic-y box. Yeah, there's just a bunch of like anime-esque kind of, not even really typical anime. They're just colorful, cartoony anime like characters. It has Kampai, it has Japanese letters all over it, and it is imported from Japan, produced by Minami Alps Wine and Beverage Co. and that's a lot of stuff. Kami Yahagi Ichono Miyacho. No, Fue Fuki City Yamanashi. Japan. I don't know specific places in Japan, but yeah, it's a 40% alcohol vodka distilled from rice and molasses. Yeah, and then imported by Tajaki Whiskey USA. So it is made in Japan at least. So I got that. You can't say it's just like made like a maybe stereotypical US made. The box may have been made in the US because there were this exact same bottle outside of the box. Was the box made in the USA? Huh, maybe. That's possible. But most of it is still in Japan, or in Japanese. No. The box is probably made in the US. So I'm not going to talk about the box anymore. Bottle looks very Japanese alcohol bottle. It's a nice bottle. Label is probably still printed in the US just because I'm sure they have to change it when it gets over here. And then, enough of that. Second alcohol I got, I don't know if this is made in Japan either, is a type of sake. I like sake. This one specifically I saw it and thought it was interesting is Moonstone Asian Pear Sake. I like pear. I'm not as crazy about Asian pear. It doesn't seem to have as much flavor to me, and it's not usually. It depends on if it's juicy or not. This was, I don't know if it matters that much. Bottled and produced by Sake One, Forest Grove, Oregon. So yeah, probably not Japanese made, but it's okay because of the origins of where the story in this movie takes place. It doesn't have to be completely made in Japan. It's good. Here's the thing. Of course, I tried both of these separately before I mixed them together. Neither one of them really had a strong flavor. But I will say the vodka, maybe I should just got recorded my initial reaction. It doesn't matter. The vodka was like I drink it. And I was like, oh, that doesn't really have much, and then boom, it hit hard. I was like, damn, okay, I get you. Sake, it has some flavor. It doesn't have a very strong alcohol flavor or sake flavor. Kind of a little bit of the sweetness of the pear, but not a whole lot. It's only 12% alcohol, so it's not even as strong as the sakes I normally get. But I mean that's pretty much it. It was really just a mix between those two. And as I will say about this movie overall, it's okay. It's an okay drink. It's nothing special. I like the sake. I like the vodka. There's nothing special about them. They're not going to be my favorites at any point. Mixed together, it only tastes good. Almost like the vodka cancels out the sake taste. It doesn't taste like super heavy in alcohol. The proportions is probably like, I don't know how it really, maybe a quarter vodka, 3/4 sake. Maybe roughly around there. So the vodka kind of takes away the sake fruity taste, kind of just dilutes it a bit. And maybe makes it seem a little stronger in alcohol. It probably is stronger in alcohol when I do this. But yeah, I haven't really, I don't think I've really mixed sake. I mix sake and beer. I mix soju and beer. I don't think I've done vodka and sake. Yeah, so this is a new pair for me. And, it just comes from me mixing each one and different things all the time. Maybe I should try a little whiskey. I think the whiskey would have really thrown it off balance, though, when I taste it like this. Because the Japanese whiskey does have a really strong flavor. So maybe I didn't need that. It would have been too overpowering. So, yeah, I guess it's fine. Yeah, that's it. That's the drink. I got two things. I mixed them together. Maybe I should have done it. The only other thing I probably could have done is, like, take a shot of the vodka and chase it with sake. That's what kind of do. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can really think of. It's not bad. I'm going to keep drinking it, of course. But yeah, there's just not much else to talk about with it. I probably could have tried a little harder to make something more hero-esque. Probably. I think my original intention was to go and find liquors that had hero in the name or something about super or anything, and I don't think I could. Maybe I did find something. I know I found a beer, but I don't want to only drink beer on this stuff, or just be like, yep, I found this beer, here it is. I want to be less lazy. But the reason I mainly picked this box is because it has that very, like, pow, kanpai, like, but it's also in a more American style. It does it, even though it is, and it looks kind of superhero-y. There's a character that looked a lot like, am I crazy? I thought, they looks kind of superhero-y. I don't know. It's not. I don't know what I was thinking when I got this. I think I was just desperate and wanted something. But it does pop. It is very animated box. I was like, that's close to superhero-y I am getting when it comes to liquor. It's Japanese, so that's close enough. I do need to try to be more creative, don't I? Did I do an episode? Okay, I know I didn't do one for the second movie. The second movie's still by far my favorite. I don't remember if I did one for the third movie or not. It's been so long since the third one came out, or since I started doing all these, but I wasn't super crazy about the third one, so I'm not that concerned with it anyways. And then the fourth one's coming out soon. I'm hoping for the best, but I also don't have that high hopes for it. I don't know why I wouldn't, but yeah, I guess I'm trying to think. No, I definitely started this podcast before that movie came out. But for some reason, it doesn't seem like I did a podcast about it for some reason. I don't know why, because I went and saw the third one with 3 other people. I definitely would have had people to talk to about it. So, I don't know. I think it was because I ended up not caring about that movie. And there just wasn't that much to say about it. But I still could have done it. That's just excuses. And it kind of falls into this one too. I'm not crazy about this first movie. Which I guess can lead to talking about this first movie. This first My Hero Academia 2 Heroes movie. It was about, I said 97 minutes. Crunchyroll said a little under an hour and 36 minutes. Unfortunately, on Crunchyroll, there's only the dub. I have no idea why. And if there was anything to make me hate dub more, it was some voices in this movie. I will say the whole dub isn't terrible. Some I've gotten used to because I've heard before. I've seen some of the voice actors at conventions, and they're alright. It's fine, but there is one that I just hate. I'll just go ahead and talk about it because I hate Mineta's voice so much in English. So much. It was infuriating. I almost just wanted to stop watching it. Like, I can put up with dub. I'm not crazy about it, but I feel like I'm being too negative. I'm usually encouraged. It's like, hey, just keep trying, keep doing your best. Whoever was the casting director that decided this should be Mineta's voice should not do this job ever again. Please? I don't know. I'm not even going to blame the voice actor. The voice actor was just doing a job. The casting director was doing a bad job. Dude, I hate it so much. And Mineta is my favorite character in the series. Apparently, I never heard the voice actor in English until now. Oh, I hate it so much. I hate it so fucking much. It's so bad. It's so stupid. And yeah, there's like something similar. I don't know. It was trying to keep the style of like how Mineta speaks in Japanese, but it's just done so badly. It sounds like they're just trying to make fun of Mineta. And I get it. Mineta's kind of a joke character, but also Mineta is like one of the smartest characters. Yeah, at least one of the smartest students. Always pulls through. The only time we see Mineta lose until, the most recent episode was the sports festival. Every other time Mineta's won every fight or every test. Just such a good character that's easy to underestimate because of personality quirks, but I hate it. I was getting so mad the more I had to listen to it. I was so excited when I realized Mineta was going to be in this, and then I heard a voice and I was like, I don't want any of this to happen ever again. I hate this. I hate English dub. I never want to listen to English dub ever again. This is the straw that broke the camel's back, I guess. And now I understand why people would hate Mineta. Because if you watch the English dub and this is how you're introduced, of course you will hate this character. They're doing everything they can to make you hate. Oh, it's so sad. I hate this. I hate this so much. I could do a whole episode of just why Mineta's great, why hate is undeserved, and then I get another, I guess, half hour of why this fucking ruins. I'm going to go on rambling about stuff that'll just be dumb and whatever. Mineta has some decently cool moments in this, funny and whatever, but it wasn't. I didn't like it. Anyways, here's another weird thing, and it kind of makes sense for this movie, like I said, because it first premiered in Los Angeles on July 5th, 2018, I think at some expo, which also makes a lot of sense too, because of the setting. And then Japan, August 3rd, 2018. And then I think the rest of the US and Canada, sometime in September. I don't know. The production team is Studio Bones. Distributed by Toho. The director is Kenji Nagasaki. Screenplay by Yosuke Kuroda. And then music by Yuki Hayashi. I'll go ahead and say the music was okay. Nothing great during it. Credits was just cool. I'll just go ahead and say it before I forget because that's all I really have to say about the music. And just overall, it's just nothing special until the very end. If I was to give it's just such a typical story and progression. And it's not even that cool. I can't even say, oh yeah, there was cool moments throughout it. It's really only the end is really that cool. The story is so typical, predictable. There's nothing to go over. It's kind of the opposite of the third movie, where I thought like everything was cool leading up until the finale, and then kind of the very last part of it was the letdown, anticlimactic. To me, this was the opposite, where the build-up was just like, yeah. I mean, this is so obvious and typical. But it's also the first movie. I'm watching them out of order. I watched the second, third, and now the first. I guess it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me, but it made too much sense to me. It was so... That was the problem, if anything. I don't know. It wasn't a bad movie. Especially the end was cool, but... I don't know. I had a lot I could say about it. Just a bunch of little things all over it. The whole premise is kind of doesn't make that much sense. You can make excuses for it, but instead of just being so vague about it, let me get into the detail. So it opens with a young All Might, a exchange student, looks pretty older, almost like college age more than high school age, and with a friend, a tech expert, named David Shield, who also looks old. That's why I'm thinking they're more college age than anything. But imagine, it's hard to imagine All Might would go to like a college for heroes. Also, I don't remember if we ever heard anything about that anyways. So they must be in high school. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's before I guess All Might became actually famous at all. But still really young. There was some kind of giant 6-leg frog thing. Maybe more legs than that. Just a giant frog monster getting rid on by some other random whatever villain that was doing some kind of robbery. And it was a neat action sequence of them chasing and fighting. It had a lot different feel though. The vibe seemed more like American superhero fight, which makes sense because it takes place in the U.S. So yeah, I'm like no complaints. It was actually nice to see. It's cool to see All Might fight to begin with because we really don't get that much of All Might fighting. And yeah, and that was just flashback to that, to where now All Might and Deku are going to Island at the start of the summer vacation for some kind of expo. Hey, look at that. That's why it was probably premiered at an expo. I want to say Anime Expo. I don't know exactly what sure, but that makes the most sense. And then, actually, I don't think there were opening credits that much. If they were, I weren't paying attention to them. Because it gives, a brief and, a opening credits amount of time of a recap for how the whole series began. Pretty much leading up, baby Deku, small child Deku, not learning, find out, don't have a court, that one slime monster, which recently came back into the anime, that caught Bakugo and Midoriya, and then saved by All Might, Deku wanting to be a hero, doing a little bit of training, and I don't remember if that was in this recap or another memory that happens a little bit later. There's a lot of memories in this, of course. And then moving on, kind of skipping some stuff, and goes up through the sports festival. So I'm assuming this movie came out probably right after the sports festival, which sports festival is still one of my favorite arcs. Too bad Mina that lost. Yeah, so then it goes to that. But yeah, apparently in this city, and I thought it would come back. I didn't say. Island is like a giant floating city with security like Tartarus prison. Nothing else special about it. Just, another floating city, whatever. Doesn't seem that secure at all, though. As you watch it, it's like, okay, well, whatever. But, yeah, apparently, and it doesn't really come back to play any part at all, but it's brought up. So I thought, I'll make a note of this in case this is, foreshadowing or something. people are allowed to use their quirks however they like, but you don't really see anything like that. You don't really see too many people. Yeah, it encourages quirk use because just other random events happening through the city because the whole city's in like super festival mode. But it also says it's like unlike Japan. But I don't know. I feel like people are using the quirks plenty in Japan, or did I just never notice? Maybe it's because we only really see the hero's perspective. I don't know. It stuck out to me, and then it never really came back. It never mattered. So actually, there's a whole lot of worry later about what to do involving quirks and fighting and stuff like that. So I guess it really doesn't matter. Oh. Anyways, then now we finally meet the daughter of David, Melissa Shield. Points out 17, a third year at the academy on our island. Not super smart, but really work driven. Really, yeah. That's pretty much it. At least what Melissa says. Not really smart, but then everyone else seems to think otherwise. Deku has a little bit of a infatuation, mainly because Melissa's checking Deku out and was like, what kind of power? Gear, blah, blah, blah. And Deku just doing typical Deku things. So, yeah. Then they kind of take a tour of the island. They go meet up with David and Sam, the assistant to David, who I didn't pay too much attention to until it mattered. And then, they just tour the island. See a bunch of pro heroes around, like Godzilla, Godzilla hero who does whatever, touring other facilities. There's a lot. There's a big chunk of this where I'm just going to breeze through because there's a bunch of little things, but nothing that seemed to matter to me too much. I'll mention it if I remember and it seems important enough. But yeah, eventually, while they're just doing this, other UA students are there for some reason. They had connections for something. I don't remember. We get Creati, Momo, whatever. I'm trying to remember all their Chaco. I don't remember most of their names. Who was else? Earplug person. I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry. Those three show up first because of some kind of thing. I don't know. And then in the background, Froppy, invisible person girl, Pinky, pink acid one. They're also on the island. It cuts to them a little bit, but they don't really do anything at all. They're just there. They're just not invited to a party that's happening later. So they just chill in a hotel room. That part was kind of disappointing. And then we see among more people just happen to show up all at the same time. We get the electric person, Denki? I don't know. And then Mineta. They're like working like as waiters because they got a free trip, so they decided to work. And then Ida, who has family connections or something. And then thinking Kirishima and Bakugo pop up doing this like villain tests where they're just flying around this man-made mountain thing, beating up robots, trying to get a high score. And then Deku does it. There's just a whole bunch of yelling because Bakugo gets like 15 seconds, which is first place. Kirishima got 8th. I don't remember the time. Deku barely lost to Bakugo, and they didn't seem that concerned about it by 1 second. Then Shoto, Fire Ice one. I'm sorry, I don't know names. I've should have wrote them down, but I did not think it mattered that much. I thought I remembered them too. Todoroki, that's what I normally call him. Also, maybe the Vasquez trainer, I thought. Shows up and then beats Bakugo by 1 second. More yelling and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then I think that's all the students that showed up. I think that was it. So now they meet all those students. Ta-da, there they are. And honestly, they should just brought all the students. At this point, I feel like most of them are there. And they might not have all had a lot of important stuff to do, but why would you leave out some of the others? Darkwing, Dark Shadow, whatever. Man, I feel bad. Don't remember. That would have been really cool. But I get they specifically just choose characters that either, are just fan favorites or make sense for the plot. But when you're bringing this many, just bring the rest of them. Make some other excuse. Or what I would have liked, and I know it would have completely changed the whole dynamic or purpose of this film, only have brought Deku and All Might. Yeah, it's a shame, but if you just want to tell a actually just genuinely good story and not just worrying about, oh, we want to appease the fans by making sure some of the favorite characters there, whatever, you could have just made it about All Might and Deku being here somehow, and that you could have worked that in. It could have been a good story, but no, he did this and kind of like I felt like it was just half done. Should have brought in the rest, but while all this happiness is going on, there's a bad group that's infiltrated Island. David's acting super suspicious. This is where, it's obvious David's working with the bad guys. And I was like, oh, maybe it's a twist. You don't see David. You see David being kind of nervous and suspicious. But you don't see who's actually working with the bad group until near the end when things get revealed. And I was like, okay, it's either David or maybe they're trying to make it a little twist or make it Sam the assistant. Spoiler for the whole movie if I never said that. It's both of them. They both made the plan, or are working with the bad guys, which that kind of caught me off guard. It's like, oh, it's actually both of them. That's kind of nice. Two heroes, two villains. A lot more villains, if anything. A lot more heroes, if anything, too. Yeah, so, I already mentioned hate in Minetta's voice. Look in that note again. It's just pisses me off. At some point, Melissa gives Deku a gauntlet to help protect one arm. I guess it helps. That way Deku can go all out with it. It helps until it breaks at the end, of course. I guess that was more just to be like, okay, well, we know Deku hurts. The arm gets hurt if you go all out, but that'll mess up continuity with the main series, and we kind of want this to have some kind of continuity, I guess. It doesn't really matter. So we gotta protect Deku's arm momentarily. So I knew it was gonna break at the end. But yeah, now time goes on, other stuff's happening, nothing important that I care about. Everyone's dressed up, ready to party. Everyone except for Froppy, Pinky, and Invisible Girl, they're still in the hotel room, just want to play games, watch TV, do whatever. They don't do anything. And then Bakugo and Kirishima are lost somehow, and they stay that way for a while, because then the island is taken over. Yeah, there's a bomb threat. The security robots, which is honestly not a great security system. They bragged about it so much, and it just doesn't seem that great. But yeah, security's taken over, and then all the heroes are restrained with like this magic blue rope that's never really explained. Don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it's tech. Maybe it's Maybelline. We don't know. And even while being restrained, they're like, still holding hostages at gunpoint and are like, don't move or kill the hostages. Did you really need to restrain them with whatever this magic device is? Who knows? Maybe. Yeah, need some kind of countermeasure, if anything. And it seems like All Might even has trouble escaping from it, because All Might, all the actual pro heroes are restrained. Luckily, none of the students are. Wow, what a coincidence. Because they were all just hanging out somewhere else at a good time. But they are trying to make a plan. Headphone Jack's listening, so All Might can talk and tell him not to do anything. After Deku lets them know they're safe in there, All Might wants them to escape and be safe. And they're like, nah, fuck that. Well, some of them are like, nah, fuck that. We're going to go save. Some of them are no fun, like Grady and Ida Ingenum? Is that what Ida's name is? I don't know, whatever. But then eventually they're just like, oh, okay, well, they don't have their license, so they can't fight like heroes, which is such a stupid thing in a situation like this, especially because they're hypocrites. That doesn't last long. But so what they're going to do is they're try to get to the very top of the tower and restore the security system, so that takes over and B's on their side again, and do it without fighting. And I think there's hundreds of floors. I don't remember exactly, at least 140, I think. There's a lot, and they have to climb the stairs to get there, which takes a really long fucking time, I'm sure. And Yeah, it doesn't last long. They pretty much fight right away, kind of, because they get spotted. Some of the goons go after them, and then we finally see somehow Kirishima and Bakugo got lost 80 floors above where they were trying to get to. Don't know how that happens. You know, I've gotten lost in stupid situations like that too, but that was on a aircraft carrier. Different situation, not as big, I would think. It was huge. Yeah, and then they fight the goons. Todoroki also joins those two to fight the goons while everyone else goes ahead. So yeah, that whole we're not going to fight anybody thing. Like, what the fuck? You gave up on it so quick. And yeah, the bad guy started at first. Bakugo's a hothead. They probably would have fought them anyways and wasn't part of the planning, so wouldn't have known anyways. It was just like, really? You didn't stick to it at all. Like, okay, it was so short-lived. But there's just a lot of fighting, a lot of running. It's really cheesy. It's because it's nothing special. The action is kind of cool, kind of not yet that cool, because you have to wait for the end when it really gets climactic. And like during the fight, Kirishima's just knocked into a wall, and it's like, oh, well, I can't fight now, I'm pinned. Then it's just Bakugo and Todoroki, you know, two of the favorites doing the actual fighting. And then at the end, Bakugo's just like, idiot, just turn your cork off. And it's like, oh yeah. And then he falls out of the wall, and it's like, that's dumb. But then the rest are trying to climb the tower. The door's blocked, so they have to send Mineta in through like a hatch to climb and open it from the other side. And then they do that, and then from then on, all the other doors are open. They probably because they got caught now and they're being led to a trap, which is just more robots. So now they're fighting all the robots, but then after fighting a bunch of robots, which they didn't need to fight before, I thought they got to the top floor because they're like, oh, there's a big core looking thing and they're like surrounded by robots. And they could just went around. They were above the robots already. They looked down to see the robots and were like, oh, we gotta fight those, and then do it for no reason. Puts Danky electric person out of commission for no reason. Then they go to another floor, and you're like, oh, we can't fight these robots or mess them up because of blah 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 bullshit. And it's like, well, what the fuck did you do to all the other ones? They're the same kind of robots. So now they split off even more so they can fight all these robots. I think Orocho, the one that has a crush, Gravity, and the one that floats and has a crush on Deku, and then Melissa. Those three go off on up ahead. They have to go outside, then use the float court to send Melissa and Deku up further, while the other has to stay down below, almost attacked by robots, and then bam, out of nowhere, Bakugo and Todoroki show up, and Kirishima, to save. But it's like, how the fuck did you get up there so fast? Like, there should have been a lot of time passed, and this is the problem with having short movies. It's time makes even less sense before. They shouldn't have had time to get there. They were already fighting. Yeah. Let me look at this before yeah. So they're just doing that. Eventually, more goons are sent after Deku. There's two more main goons that are mainly looking over the security system. One is sent and is quickly dealt with by Deku. The other we never see again. I'm pretty sure we never see that one again the entire rest of the movie. Huh. One of them calling most of the shots, which is weird. I just realized that. That's dumb. There's a lot of stuff wrong with this. I feel like if they would just made the movie longer. Stop making hour-and-a-half movies. Movies should be at least 2 hours long. I'm going to gripe about that all the time until it's fixed. I think the other movies do get longer, but for now, this one's not. Anyway, so now they finally make it top. Melissa and Deku, and they see who else but David and Sam, who were taken away from the rest of the party by the bad guys. So it seemed like, they were being forced to do it. And they would have still kept some of the bad guys with them. It would still seem like they were forced to do it. But no, it's just David and Sam up there doing some tech stuff. Also, doesn't seem like the security room at all. It's a completely different room. It looks like a storage room of some sort. Okay. Fuck. fuck it, any kind of logic in that, I guess. I don't know. And they don't do anything about the security system either, I don't think. They don't even. Did I miss something? Did I black out at some point in this film? Because there's a lot that just seems like was missing. Like a good, at least 10 minutes could have been thrown in there. 5 minutes, maybe, even. Maybe 2 minutes to clear some stuff up. I don't know. Maybe you could make some assumptions and that would work out, but yeah. Man, the more I talk about this movie, the more I'm not really liking it. They went from okay to like, wow, they really did not do a great job with this. Holy shit, damn. Yeah, two thumbed down heroes, I guess. So yeah, it turns out in this whole convoluted plan that David and Sam made a device that amplifies Quark's powers. But, like some board of directors, some council bullshit, you know that bureaucracy crap, took it away, put it in storage where they have access to it, but not really. I don't know. So then the plan was for... Sam made the plan to get a fake criminals, which end up being fake criminals, to act like they're taking over the place, and while they're doing that, Sam and David will come up here and take the device. The whole reason David's doing it is for All Might, because All Might's losing the court because doesn't know about the one for all like drawback since All Might gave it up to Deku. Doesn't know that's the real reason All Might is losing the court. So yeah, David's doing it for a good reason, just doing it in such a terrible way, like so bad. And like if David knew All Might at all, I don't think like taking an entire island hostage to get a device you pretty much already have access to is like the thing All Might would approve of. There's no way All Might would be like, "Oh, you did all that for me? Me so much." And then they fuck, and then they get the court amplifying device. I don't think that would happen at all. Also, like, is Sam Melissa's other parent? Where's Melissa's other parent? Like, what was happening with that? Is Melissa adopted? That could be it. Maybe. Huh, who knows? I don't know. So the whole thing is just dumb. Yeah, because Sam, like the bad guy, the main head of the bad guys, who was the fake criminal, comes up. Sam betrays David for who I'm going to call Magneto because the quirk is to control metal. I don't remember the person's name at all. I don't know if it's ever said. So I'm just going to say Magneto so I have something to call because it's the same power. Kind of stronger though. And then Magneto shoots Sam. Just for no reason. Just because like, hey, I'm a bad guy. Don't know why you would assume otherwise. And then about to shoot Sam again, but shoots David instead while David tries to protect Sam, who just betrayed David. And then not like slaps Melissa, then takes David, all while restraining Deku with metal. It's like this was just like, what the fuck? It almost seems like a meme. It's like I don't remember what show it was, but it's like a sketch of just a guy going around slapping people. There's a different sketch of everybody shooting each other and getting dramatic about it. It's like one of those dumb memes. This like sequence of events was. This movie's ridiculous. Oh, I'm so disappointed in it. Maybe I shouldn't have talked about it. Oh, anyways, Deku getting real mad. Finally snaps a little bit and starts trying to fight Magneto, but Magneto's just beating Deku down. Like, not real. This is like really one-sided. Until Magneto just taking David away off in a helicopter, and Deku almost saves the day, but it's just like shot out of the helicopter almost kind of. David keeps getting in the way of guns. Don't know how David lives. And then out of nowhere, All Might flies up. Yeah, no longer restrained. We didn't see how any of that happened. If we did, I missed it. I blinked for a really long time. I died for a few minutes. Who knows what happened? All Might's free. And now is into the fight. One punch destroys the helicopter. Saves David. I assume it kills the pilot. We never see the pilot again. Of course, Magneto's fine. And now it's like the actual final struggle, final fight. And it's actually cool. This is where the stuff actually starts getting really cool and where I started enjoying it more. And like really the only redeeming part of the movie until it ends. I'll get to that part because that was. I'm sorry if you enjoyed this movie. I'm just shitting on it. It may seem like I'm just really hating on it now, and I kind of am. You're right. Good job. You picked up on it. Because I went from, this is an okay movie to, damn, they dropped the ball. Anyways. So, let's see here. Yeah, now Magneto managed to find time to put on the amplifying quirk device, goes mecha mode, becomes giant, continuously growing, even All Might is struggling. And then, just in the nick of time, all the other students that were here on this island, besides the 3 who are still in the hotel room and are never seen again, don't know why they were mentioned at all, really. Yep, I like Froppy. Froppy's one of my other favorite characters. It's a shame, but what's the point? No, why introduce them? Why not just bring everyone? Who knows? I thought they would pop up at some point to help, like they managed to escape and find out what was going on and do it. No. No, that's not what happened. Anyways, yeah, students are kind of helping. They're all on their like last legs, barely able to do it. Mainly, it's Todoroki and Bakugo doing most of the helping with All Might and Deku. I wish the others would have kind of helped more. I'm pretty sure at one point Grady makes a long metal shield to try to help him, which seems like one of the stupidest fucking things you can make when you're fighting someone who controls metal. It may have not been made out of metal. Who knows? It gets blown back and blown apart anyways. Also, no one's protecting Melissa anymore. Melissa has no quirk. Don't know if I mentioned that. I don't think David has a quirk either. I don't know if that's ever actually mentioned. Yeah, Melissa's just there all helpless. I don't know how Melissa didn't die either. But yeah, there's at some point, All Might is really just being pushed to the limit. And a cool line where All Might's even like, I can't let limits stop me. Who am I? What kind of hero am I? And then there's a point Bakugo's like, what kind of hero are you? Blah, blah. Or like says something about All Might being a hero or show them what a real hero is. And that's what really gets All Might going. Which is, it's Bakugo being the inspirational one. Kind of a backhanded way. But yeah, and then it really just becomes Deku and All Might teaming up, being the 2 heroes that take down Mecha Magneto. And then it ends. That's it. It's just like, yeah, it's a really cool, really actiony. But once they beat Mecha Magneto, that's it. The movie's over. Nothing else happens. There's just, yep. It's like, what the fuck? I think this is kind of my problem with the third one, if I remember right. It's just kind of ended. It's like, did you forget Did you forget there was supposed to be more? What's going on? I don't. Where's the wrap up? Where's like everything is safe thanks to the Powerpuff Girls, whatever. Yeah, it's just over. There it goes to the credits. There's just random pics in the credits of stuff either in the past or that happened in the movie again. And I was like, maybe there's after credit scene. No, there's not even an after credit scene. What there is some talkless scenes at the very end of the credits, not after the credits, while the credits are still rolling, where you can assume David is in the hospital. Melissa forgives David for what happened. We don't know what happened to Sam. They're not arrested that we can see. There are guards waiting outside, so maybe arrested after being healed. What happens afterwards? It just ends. That's it. Like, what's the point? There was more that should have happened. What happened to the bad guys? What happened to the other bad guys that just disappeared? What happened to the other 3 that were in the hotel the whole time? We kind of saw like little images of the other students that weren't there, but it was literally just an image of them doing something normal. I guess still in Japan. None of it made sense. It just ended. This is why the movie shouldn't have been an hour and a half. Or maybe they're just like, this movie should have only been an hour and a half. We're already 6 minutes over. We gotta just pull the plug. That's it. We're done. I know, animation's hard. But fuck's sakes. I know it's the first movie, but damn. Where's the rest of it? Where's the director's cut? Is there more to this? Can we find out what happened? And as far as I know, David and Melissa had never popped back up. I thought David would have more of a change of heart. Doesn't really do anything. I thought when watching this film, I thought David was going to be one of the two heroes that mainly relied on technology to help fight. I figured David would be a bad guy at some point because that's just obvious. And then have that change of heart, and it just never happened. This whole movie just seems like half done. Like there was supposed to be a lot more, and then it just wasn't. Yeah, but there's a bunch of little things I can keep nitpicking. I think I actually did end up hitting a lot of it. The whole like Sam and David making this whole plan to get the helmet back. It just makes it's not like they're going to a different location to do this. It's in like the same building their labs and all the other stuff is. I think it's the same lab. It's a giant building. There must be their labs, and they had the access to it. I don't know what normally stops them, but they're trying to do like a whole heist thing where they're running the criminal side. And my only thinking is they did all this to make it look like it was stolen, like they didn't do it, like they were forced to do it, and then they handed it over. But it really makes no sense. You couldn't have thought of an easier way, and it would make more sense if the whole time Sam was like a bad guy all along, but it seemed like Sam was genuinely good up until like it didn't seem like Sam got the credit or wasn't treated completely equally. It doesn't seem like Sam was bad, just wanted more from it, and that's why I kind of teamed up with the bad guys who thought were fake criminals but ended up being real criminals, and then that fake criminal betrayed Sam, and none of it really made too much sense. I still wish all the students had been there because there's some of them I never really thought were that creative. Still could have been something. It would have been nice to I like seeing all of them go all out. I like that camaraderie they had. I think that's why I like the second one so much is, of course the favorites still get the biggest spotlight, but they were all there and they were all working together. I don't know. It's just such a letdown. And I think this happens sometimes when I do these is the more I talk about something, the less I start liking it. But this one was really just bad. It just so disappointing. It really is. That's sad. I should have talked about it. No, I should have. This is the whole point. Is to talk and get my opinions out there. Thanks to the help of your friendly neighborhood alcohol. But I'm sure other people must have other opinions. But dang, I kind of want to argue with someone who thought this was good because it's hard to imagine what people will say with it being good. Like, the very last final fight was really cool, but it's also kind of a very stereotypical final boss fight. Like, big, giant opponent, mecha a lot of times too. I have a One Piece Stampede, a little thing right next to me that I'm looking at, and that was also a giant mecha-esque put together final boss. So, and this happens a lot. And of course, Stampede came out after this. But, it's just alright at best. If you don't think too much about it. But if you spend, 48 minutes at this point just talking about it, really thinking through it, it just gets worse the more you go. And I fucking hate Manila's voice. What is wrong with people? That is so bad. You could have done something better. Why? I hate English dub. I never want to watch English dub ever again. But I don't always get the choice if I want to watch something when I get the choice. I don't know where else. I'm sure I could have bought this movie somewhere and watched it there, but it's already on Crunchyroll. I thought I'd give it a try. I knew some of the voices were okay, and some were, but not enough. Just not enough. And I don't want to hate on dub. I don't want to shit on it. I know Japanese just sounds better because I'm not as used to it, so I can't nitpick and hear when it is bad. But so I know English and used to English more, so I know when it sounds bad, and this just sounds bad. I am to the point where I am recognizing Japanese voice actors' voices more. So that is a little annoying sometimes too when I do. It's like, oh, you're just the same character as this. People love that. That's one of the most annoying things to me about voice acting is you just keep hearing the same voices. I don't understand English voice actors when they do like American cartoons and stuff like that. English cartoons, Western cartoons, whatever you call them, they're so much better. I know it's mainly because they don't have to try to sync up their lips or voice to the lips of the characters. It's easier done when you can animate it to the voice instead of trying to put the voice to already animated lips. I know it's not completely the voice actor's fault, but still, they just seem so much better than the actors they get for anime. I don't understand why. I know it's also because they keep using the same people and the voices become very recognizable. But they do that in Japan too, so I can't say it's that much. And I also feel like something's just changed. Because I've gone back, I don't know if it's just nostalgia, but like late 90s, early 2000s, those voice actors, I think, do a great job. I think it's why I can still watch, even though I don't watch Dragon Ball, I can still watch Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto, and still enjoy those. And it's not like every newer anime. I still prefer the Toradora dub over the sub. I don't know. I don't know. But that's a whole different rant. A rant that everyone does probably all the time. I just need to talk to someone about it because this is bad. I hate it so much. My favorite character almost ruined by just a stupid voice choice. But I need to stop rambling and just get on with it. If you want to talk more about this film, please do reach out to me. Let me know what you thought. I don't know. I usually try to put a poll at least on Spotify, and it's hard to decide what that's going to be. Let me know who the two best heroes actually are. Sure, that's something. What your kind of drink would be. I could have made a drink for each character, but one, I didn't know all the other characters would have been there. I still think it should have just been a Deku All Might movie. Just those two. That would have been better storytelling probably anyways. Been cooler stuff could have been done with it. Been more dramatic instead of just mainly fan service without getting too pervy. At least it's not pervy fan service, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on it. Let's talk more about it. There's plenty to talk about, I'm sure. But yeah, you can do that on, if you have comments somewhere. You can find me on social media, the AC Stories. Email me, theacstories@gmail.com. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about this film. I said a whole lot more than I planned to, but yeah, that's it. So I want to thank my Ko-fi member Julio Vasquez for help supporting me. If you want to help support me on Ko-fi, so you can help support these kind of drunken ramblings about movies I thought were okay and turned out bad, go ahead. I appreciate it. You don't have to though. But that'll be it for me for this episode of Alcohol and Anime, talking about My Hero Academia 2 Heroes. I've been your entertainer, the AC Stories. Thank you so much. Until next month. Bye.